I have a dilemma in life. Every time, this has gone on for about 15 years now. Every time I have vanilla on my shopping list, I go through an internal struggle. Anybody else struggle with vanilla? No? And here's what happened. I was ruined several years ago, 15 years ago, when I read this article about vanilla. Now, some of you are going to remember this. This is the day I actually did some cooking on stage in one of the schools we were at, that the week I had read that article about vanilla. Because here's the deal. I want the imitation stuff. Have you ever noticed? It's a lot cheaper, right, to buy imitation vanilla than the real stuff. It's like significantly cheaper. Real vanilla, if you were to buy, say a 16-ounce bottle of McCormick, and I don't know, who buys a 16-ounce bottle? It's for illustration purposes. Don't mock me, all right? Unless you're a big baker, you might get 16 ounces. Usually you get the little things, right? But 16 ounces, this is just off the interwebs, right? It's around $38 for 16 ounces of pure, real vanilla. And I look at that price and think, that is insane. That's just like some little teaspoon of flavoring you throw in like in cookie dough or in, pancake mix or something, or whatever it is it calls for vanilla. And so this is my challenge, because you can get twice as much of the fake stuff. You can get 32 ounces for what is it, $4.97. Same brand, so it's not like, it's an off-brand. No, same brand. You can get real stuff, 16 ounces for about $38. You can get double the amount of fake stuff for like $5. Now you put that into the size of the bottle, it's still proportionately like crazy. And so I always have this internal battle over, man, just get the fake stuff. It's so much cheaper. But then I remember this article that I read, and it was years ago, but every single time I buy vanilla, this goes to my mind. So I had to look up my information on this because I was thinking about it this week. The ingredients, and this is just off the interwebs of this particular brand of vanilla. Ingredients of a bottle of pure vanilla extract is vanilla bean extractives, whatever that is, bean stuff, right? And water and alcohol. So that's pretty simple. That's like three things. I can read those. I don't need to be a chemist to understand what that is. The ingredients of the imitation vanilla start with water. Then there's the caramel color, and then the vanillin, and then there's the ethyl vanillin and potassium sorbate, and what is it, propylene glycol? I don't know if I even said that right. It's kind of, stuff I don't even know what it is. So you do a little research. Well, what's this propylene glycol stuff? The ingredients are scary enough, but then you look at what they do, and you find out that same ingredient is used in things like de-icing solutions for airplanes, and in antifreeze, and brake fluid, and hydraulic fluid. And I think, I just can't imagine pouring like brake fluid on my pancakes. It just doesn't sound very, it just sounds like, I don't know that I really want to eat this stuff. Now, to make you feel better, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, claims that this chemical is generally recognized as safe when used in food. So, you can save some dollars and eat something that is generally considered safe by the FDA. There are others, if you do internet searches on this chemical, say that it leads to things like dermatitis and liver and brain abnormalities, kidney damage, that there's some potentially really serious problems with this chemical when you put it in your body. So every time I go to buy vanilla, I'll look at the prices, and then I'll weigh the potential harm or benefit to my body. And I think, save $5, have brain damage, I'll spend the $5. It's an internal struggle. The real stuff always wins for me ever since I read this article. Before that, there were years of the imitation stuff, which may explain how the announcements went this morning. That could also be that it was really early this morning when I did that. But it always wins, because when I look at the benefits and the costs and the potential risk, I always decide, just get the real stuff. Again, I don't get the 16-ounce bottle. What are they, 1 ounce? I don't know. I should have looked at what I actually have at home. I always get the little thing, and that lasts us for quite a while. We're not big-time bakers or anything. So the authentic, real ingredients generally is the way to go, and that's true in about everything in life, isn't it? To go with the real stuff, to go with the genuine, maybe even in relationships. Okay, we're taking a shift here, right? Isn't it better to have the real, genuine relationship than a fake one? Have you ever had a fake relationship or had someone who you walk away and you think, man, this is not real. They're faking this. They're just playing a game. They don't really care about me. They're just moving their mouths and kind of acting like it. And man, that takes a lot of energy to fake a relationship. I think. I mean, honestly, I don't think I've ever faked one, but it just seems like it would take a lot of energy rather than to just be yourself. But the Apostle Paul says in 12:9, let love be genuine. Now, wouldn't you think that shouldn't even have to be said? I mean, don't you all just want to say, well, duh? You can go ahead and say it. Yeah, let love be genuine. Yeah. I mean, yes. But evidently, way back in the first century, it's not like this now, there were people faking it. Even in the church. And Paul's like, just be real, right? Just be authentic with your relationships. How many disingenuous fake relationships have you had to deal with in your life? Do you remember high school? Remember all those close friends you still have from high school? Yeah. No, there might still be one or two. I mean, there's usually at least one or two, hopefully, good friends you'll latch on to. But generally, man, the whole thing, we used to tell our girls all the time, there was a big struggle, here's the deal. You're going to graduate in however many time. You're not going to see any of them ever again until your next reunion. And then you won't care then either. Because there's so much fakery going on. Have you ever worked in an office or a work setting where there's fake people and you're like, you almost kind of, it's almost like sandpaper or fingernails on the chalkboard when they're talking. You're like, you're not even being real. You're faking. You've worked with those. And Paul's just saying here, that might work for other people. I mean, it really doesn't, but they're going to do what they're going to do. You can't control that. But for Jesus people, don't be fake. Don't be fake. Be genuine. Be real. Let love be genuine. He uses a Greek word here, anupakritas. I always want to put an S in there. Anupakritas, which means without hypocrisy. That's the important part. Without hypocrisy, which was a word that was used in the first century to describe someone playing a role in a play, a character. Say, don't be an actor. Don't be in a play. Be real when you're with people. Is what he's saying here. Have you seen the advertisement lately? When the doctor, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. The dude comes up and says, I don't know how to say this, and he's in the doctor outfit, and the guy's in the bed goes, just give it to me straight, doc. He goes, no, I really don't know how to say this. I'm a TV doctor. I have no clue. It's like he's faking it. Paul says, when it comes to your love with people, it's Turk, right? It's Turk on I should know that. Turk's my dog. But anyway, side point. That's his character's name. When our love for other people, our relationships with other people should be genuine. It should be authentic. Not pretend. Don't play games with people. Just be real with them. See, friend is not a character you play. It's just something you are. Or spouse is not a character you play. Oh, better act like a husband or a wife today. It's like, no, you are that. You live that, or father, or mother, or brother, or whatever. Put it in your word. They're not characters, co-worker. That relationship, it's not a play. It's not a character you are. It's what you do. It's an extension of your Christian faith. Your faith should be lived out in your relationships, is what Paul's getting to here. And then he goes through this whole list of things that really kind of describes what he's talking about in Romans chapter 12 here. So let's just read this in context. Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not be slothful in zeal. Be fervent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints and seek how to show, hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, proud, right? Be associated with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Repay no one evil for evil. but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, as far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. For by doing so, you'll heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. This is all talking about what a genuine love is. When Paul says, I think the NIV says sincere, let love be sincere. At ASV, let it be genuine. Right? Paul says, this is what I mean when I say in your relationships, be real with people. Be authentic. Let your faith, your Christian faith, flow into your relationships. Here's some breakdowns of this. A genuine love points people to God. It just does. The more you love people, the more you want them to know God, right? I mean, it's just natural that your love, your conversations that you have with people in your relationship, it'll just point people in God. It doesn't mean you're pointing out all the evil in their lives. I abhor evil, and this is how I am, that's not, at least in this context, that's not the point of it. It means that you genuinely love people, and you can't help but point them, nudge them in the direction of God. For a few months, a few years ago, I took on this little part-time job at Target. And that was when we were building this, and money was tight, and I was trying to help out, and I was like, I can't just create money, so I thought, let's get a little job, and some of that money kind of flowed this direction. But so I went to Target, and it was a night job, and I'm packing a truck a couple days a week and stocking shelves and that kind of thing. And I kind of had this great plan. I thought, I can just go there and kind of hide. Nobody knows who I am. I'm just a Target dude, right? I can go there and have a little fun and relax and just be myself. And nobody has to know I'm a pastor, because the relationship always changes. As soon as someone knows you're a pastor, they apologize when they swear. And it just gets really awkward. I'm like, I'm just a guy, I was like, stop it. But it gets weird. So I thought, nobody has to know. Of course, people found out pretty quick, and the word spread and all that kind of stuff. That kind of ruined some things. But here's the thing that happened is if you are genuine, I care about these people. I got to know them, and I got to know their story. I got to know who they were as individuals, and to know their struggle, and to know their challenge, and to know their life. And the more I knew them, the more I cared about them. And when you care about someone, you want them to be with God forever, right? You don't want harm to come to them. You don't want them to have some type of eternal punishment. That sounds terrible. So you start nudging them toward Jesus, because it's just natural. Your relationship points them in that way. And so someone come and say, man, I'm really struggling with my marriage, and it could be just office talk, right? My wife, blah, 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 or my husband, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Jesus tells you how to be a good husband, or how to be a good wife. And so you can't help but say, well, man, here's what all I can tell you is what the Bible says, and here's how you should be a husband. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. Bible thumper. It's like, well, hey, I care, right? Or my children, or this or that. I was like, there's a lot of stuff in the Bible about how to take care of kids and how to raise kids. Really tells you to do that. Or money's really tight, and I can't make it this stinking job, blah, 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 and that person don't like that kind of. It all turns naturally into, God tells you how you can work through that. Because it's just part of a genuine relationship with them. I care enough about you to help you, and not just to listen and think, yeah, your wife really is dumb, and your husband does terrible. Oh yeah, your kid. It's rather like, well, I can help you in that situation. So a lot of the conversations ended up going in that direction. Now, I haven't been in Target for several years now, but I can still go there in the mornings. If I go to Target, if I have a Target run, I'll go in the morning where I know I'll see people I know, and it's kind of cool to walk down the aisle and can have these little secret conversations. And I can even be more blatant now, and say, oh yeah, you going to church yet? And that kind of stuff. Where you couldn't, you're supposed to be a little more secretive when you work there, but I don't have to be sensitive now. I can just throw it at them because we have relationships. I really care about these people. Love points people to God. Secondly, a genuine love shows affection and honor. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. That's a natural thing when you love someone, when you're in a relationship of some kind. It depends on the relationship, what kind of relationship you're with, a coworker, friend, marriage partner, neighbor, whatever. You authentically care about them, you will honor them. It's treating people better than they treat you. It becomes a competition. Can you imagine how healthy a marriage would be if the husband and wife were both trying to outdo one another in honoring the other person? Can you imagine what kind of neighborhood you lived in if every neighbor was trying to outdo each other in serving and honoring one another? Is it crazy? What kind of a work environment it would be if you're all stumbling over each other, trying to help each other rather than compete against each other? It happens naturally and authentically in relationships when you really care about the other person. When you really care. I think what makes our senior supper clubs so special is we have a group of people who genuinely want to honor some people, some senior citizens. We don't even know some of these at first. It takes a while. You start building a relationship just because, hey, we're just glad you're in the neighborhood, and we're glad that we just want to serve you. And it becomes just really neat. There's some bond that is formed with these people who come in. We have these legitimate friendships that grow into more than just a meal. When one of the gentlemen passed away a few months ago, it was humbling for me that they called us. They called us to come help with the service. So we actually had a funeral service at the apartment complex. And I got to share Jesus with the whole complex because we genuinely cared about this individual, and he was a friend. We were honoring him. We were trying to, and then he tried to outdo us. He'd come and bring his guitar and sing for us, and it was just a great relationship that we have with so many of these people. That's what this is all about. It's not just slopping food on a plate and calling it a service project and say, yeah, Matthew 25. It is we're creating an experience for a group of people who we truly want to honor and truly want to love them. And now it's growing. It's growing. We have the other apartment complex coming down, and word's starting to spread, and some of the media people are starting to ask questions, and I'm afraid to answer their questions. I'm like, I don't know that we can, what happens if this explodes? It's like a handful of people doing this, and we might be pulling more people in. But just because people, don't you feel good when someone honors you, when someone blesses, serves you in that way? It is. We want them to leave just feeling just on top of the world. Yes, they get a good home-cooked meal, but also when we have fellowship, we talk, we communicate, we hang out, we sit around, we play some fun music, usually big band music, and it's just a fun, happy evening. That's what this is all about, being genuine in our relationships. Our Thanksgiving meals tonight, you guys coming? You good? It's going to be good. Anyway, so hey, if you want to be a part of that, come on out. Talk to me. Come on out and help and serve. And it's a great thing. Anytime you visit someone who's sick or in the hospital, that is showing them affection. That is showing them honor. Anytime you stop what you're doing and look someone in the eye and listen to them and actually have a conversation with them, it seems like, especially in today's world, that's honor. That's like a big deal to put your phone down and say, yeah, let's have a talk. Because we spend so much time like this, and people are missing half the world going on because they're looking at something fake on a picture that is going on somewhere else. And it's a way to honor. Hey, I miss a lot of phone calls because if I'm with someone, I will turn my ringer off and put it down, so I won't even know someone's calling me. And sometimes I forget to turn the ringer back on, so I have to go through and return some texts or phone calls. But usually that's why. And the thing is, when I'm with you, I'll do the same thing, right? Because I want to honor the person I'm with. That's just a simple respect. That's an authentic thing. It's like, I really care that we're having this time together, whatever it is, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, and I don't want to be talking to 14 people while I'm talking to you. And it's just a way of showing honor. Genuine love shows affection and honor. Genuine love shares with people in need, contribute to the needs of the saints, and seek to show hospitality. This goes beyond a good morning on a Sunday morning, because we're sometimes we only see each other on Sundays. So hey, good morning. It goes beyond just the shallow greeting. It's opening our homes to each other. It's opening our lives, sharing the stories of our lives, and hey, this is what's going on in my world, this is what's happening in my life. And as we share those stories, we become aware of needs and situations, and then we start helping each other out, because that's just what you do. You help each other out when you care about people. The church is filled with all kinds of just amazing, cool stories of people taking care of one another in some really tangible ways. I mean, from people giving cars away to putting on roofs and paying bills and providing clothes and providing groceries or food. There's just all kinds of things. And it's just because, oh, you have a need. I have abundance. Let me help you. Oh, you have that. I have an extra. You can have. And we all go through periods of need, and we all go through periods of surplus. And it's so cool. A genuine relationship, I can't have this storehouse of stuff going on when I see you have a legitimate need. I have to help you. And then when I have need, guess what happened? People come respond, and they are generous to me too. It goes back and forth. That's how the church works. That's authentic relationships within the church. Here's a fun one. Genuine love blesses people, even mean people. This one's a lot easier to read and talk about than to do, right? If you have mean people in your life, man, sometimes that's tough. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Repay no one evil for evil. Oh, isn't that so much more fun, though? Someone punches you in the face, don't you want to punch them back? Figuratively speaking or realistically, well, whatever, however that is, of course you do. Give thought to do what's honorable in the sight of all, if possible, so as it depends on you. Live peaceably with all. Never avenge yourself. Leave it to the wrath. Wow. Someone attacks me. Someone questions my integrity. Someone, whatever, questions me. So, I want to fight back. That's just my natural thing. But we're called to bless rather than fight. A genuine relationship, genuine love blesses people. And this is maybe a area of growth for people. You can tell where you are in your spiritual walk by how much you can give up and give to God. Let God take care of the vengeance. He does such a better job, and you can't arrest him. Right? You go out and put a knife in someone's tire, you could get in trouble. If God puts a nail in the street, hey, you can't help it, right? I don't know what he's going to do, but let God take care of the vengeance. Let him worry about that stuff. You don't have to sit there and lay at night and think about how mad you are and how upset you are and how you hope something bad, whatever happens to the other person. What a waste of your energy. What a waste of your life. What a waste of you. Just let God take care of that stuff. You worry about, how am I going to bless this person? I had a guy once who just didn't like me at all, and I kept trying to figure out how do I help? I can't make him like me. I never will. But at least I attempted. Can we get together and pray? And say, okay. That was awkward too. It just never worked. But at least I tried, and I could pray for him in private. Okay, God bless this guy's life and health and blah 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 blah. All that whole thing. And it's just, you just got to let God worry about stuff and not get so caught up in your own self. Our job is to show grace and to show love and to show forgiveness. God's job is to take care of vengeance if it's needed, and he'll just do it. He'll take care of it. Okay, genuine love really cares about what's happening in someone's life, right? I love this verse. Rejoice with those who rejoice, weep with those who weep. You can tell if you really love someone by how you respond either to their successes or their tragic situations. Because your heart doesn't lie. If someone is weeping and in pain because of some situation, and your heart immediately goes there too, you're obviously got a connection going on. If someone gets a job promotion or a new car, or they won the $1 billion lottery, and your genuine thought is, man, good for you. That shows your love is genuine. Your love is real. If your first thought is, oh man, I can up that, or your first thought is trying to think of a story to tell them how you did better than they did or something, and you might even slip it in just to hope just to kind of get some of the attention back on you, you got to work on your heart. There's some stuff in your heart that needs to happen, because that's an expression of what's going on inside, is what's coming out to other people. Genuine love really cares about what's happening to the people around you. Genuine love works things out. live in harmony with one another. It's the idea of having the same mind with someone around you, not constantly fighting over every word that's spoken, not constantly correcting one another, telling them what's wrong about them. It's two people with the same goals, same objectives. Now, you may have different opinions, you may have different approaches, you might have disagreements once in a while, but you still work things out because your relationship is so much more important than winning the argument. If your only goal in life is to win the argument, no matter what, whether it's what television program you watch that night or what you're having for supper, or whatever, you have a heart problem and you need to work on that because that's coming out in your relationships. Genuine love is humble. That's the last one we'll look at. Do not be haughty. Associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. I suppose if you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm associating with the lowly, you probably have a heart problem. I think it's better to not even realize, not trying to rank yourself. Once you start ranking yourself and the people around you, whoever you have yourself, that just gets goofy. Just don't worry about it. Just associate with people, whoever they are. People are people. We're all like people, right? We all have basic human emotions and needs and all that. And it's like, why do we worry about this stuff? Just love people. Whoever they are, whatever they're doing, whatever is going on, just love people. Genuine love is humble. You don't need to win. You don't need to feel superior to the people around you. You don't have to have the best garden or the nicest car. It doesn't mean you can't have it. It just means if that's the goal, is you got to have a better one than the neighbor, then you're kind of maybe messing up. You don't have to have the best behaved kids. You want to have great behaved kids, but you don't have to remind everybody how awesome your kids are all the time. You don't have to rub it in other people's faces. Is kind of the idea. You just hang out. Hang out. We're all just people on this road together. You look at this chunk of scripture we read, in a nutshell, Paul is saying here about this sincere or this genuine love. It's about people just being real with each other. Really caring about each other, letting loose of self and giving into the people around them, accepting other people with faults, who have other people knowing their faults. Everybody has faults. Everybody here has weaknesses. Everybody here has strengths. And it's getting beyond all that stuff and just accepting them for who they are, not trying to take advantage of them, building them up, not trying to build your ego, but their ego. It's about sacrificing your time and your energy to help them for their benefit. It's about giving of yourself to their needs. This isn't the call that you have to be everybody's best friend. You're not going to connect with everybody. You don't have the energy or the power for that. But it's accepting them for who they are, and loving them as brother in Christ, as a sister in Christ, and saying, I respect you as a human being. We don't have to have dinner every night together, but I would. That's the attitude that Paul's really talking about here. One of our core values as a church is that we accept people as they are, and I love that core value. It just says, I don't care who you are. We don't care what you've done. We don't care what you look like or what's going on in your world right now. I don't have to put a show on to impress you, and I don't expect you to have to put a show on to impress me. We're just two people trying to figure God out. Let's walk this journey together. Let's work on getting closer to God. I can just be who I am. The last thing we want to be is a church where you feel like you have to put a mask on when you walk in the door and look holy and righteous and look great and look like you have it all together. We just want you to come in and be you, and I hope you're good with me just being me, because, well, you must be because you're still here. What you see is what you get. I don't have the energy to put on a show for anybody. There's too much real stuff in life. I don't want to go for the imitation stuff. It might be cheaper in the beginning, but it's not nearly as healthy for you. So we're working on trying as people to live a godly life. We're on this journey to be more like God. We all struggle. We all fail once in a while. We all need help once in a while. We need someone who will pick us up, who will walk with us, and we're all called to do that, to be that person for each other. So I need someone to celebrate with me once in a while. I need someone to cry with me once in a while. I need people to accept me, warts and all. And everybody who walks in this door needs the same thing. someone who values us as fellow human beings. That's what living in an authentic community is all about.